Hey guys, Level Cap here. Today we're going to be talking about the new Model 1900 shotgun available in Battlefield 1 that came with the In the Name of the Tsar DLC. Unlocking this weapon is actually fairly easy compared to some of the other weapon assignments. First, you have to perform 40 kills with the M97 trench gun backboard, and then in a round you also have to perform 5 kills with the AT rocket gun. Personally, I found both of these to be pretty easy. I was able to get 5 kills easily in a round on playing on Amiens. You just shoot AT rocket guns into windows, and at infantry there's plenty of targets to fire at. Getting 5 kills shouldn't be a problem for most players. Alternatively, you can also blow up vehicles with the AT rocket gun. If you happen to blow up a fully loaded tank with 5 players, well, there you go. You get all 5 kills at once. Personally, I think it's a bit easier just to go the infantry route and kill infantry on Amiens. Now, despite being really excited about getting a classic looking double barrel shotgun in the game, it's actually not Battlefield 1's first double barrel shotgun. We have the sawed-off double barrel that you can get for the pilot or tanker class, and that shotgun is actually pretty darn good. In fact, its stats are nearly identical to this Model 1900 factory, aside from the fact that the spread on the sawed-off shotgun is significantly wider. This could help it more in close quarters if you're not quite as accurate, but at range it does make it a little bit less viable. Everything else though, reload speed and rate of fire is pretty much identical to the sawed off. The main benefit of this shotgun is that you can basically fire 2 shots back to back. It has a 299 round per minute rate of fire, so you can get back to back high damaging shots off faster than any other shotgun in the game, which technically makes it one of the highest damaging close quarter weapons, period, but you only get 2 shots before you need to reload this thing. So it's massively punishing if you're not aiming on target. Now, I've already seen a bunch of Reddit posts talking about how this is the new best shotgun in the game and showing a bunch of clips of people going on kill sprees with this weapon, some of which were moderately impressive, but for the most part just showed people killing unaware players with a shotgun, which really you can do with any other shotgun out there. I think there's sort of a feeling that because this is a double barrel shotgun, it's somehow, or it should be doing way more damage than every other shotgun in the game to make up for the fact that it only has 2 shots. Well, this is not how DICE balanced the weapon. They balanced it in a sense where because it fires so quickly, that is supposed to be the main advantage of this weapon. Where other weapons have a significant downtime between each shot, if you're doing a pump action or one of the semi-auto weapons, it's going to take a little bit to fire in between each shot compared to this one where you can fire back to back. It'll get you almost a single guaranteed kill in close quarters if your aim is at least halfway decent, or 2 guaranteed kills in close quarters right back to back if your aim is really, really good. The downside though is that this shotgun is not doing any more damage per shot than some of the other good shotguns in the game. Take the Model 10A for example. That shoots the exact same amount of pellets as this shotgun for the exact same amount of damage. In fact, the Model 10A Hunter has a tighter spread than the double barrel shotgun, which means the Model 10A Hunter is actually more accurate, can pack more damage in a tighter spread, and can kill people in one shot at further ranges than this weapon. If you go with the Model 10A Factory, it's basically the exact same shot mechanics as a double barrel. It just has more ammunition before you need to reload, but a slightly slower rate of fire. So that's basically how DICE is balancing this weapon. It's not doing any more damage per shot. It's not some sort of god ammo that it's loading in there that just annihilates anybody tagged by it. In fact, you might notice yourself missing kills that you think you should have gotten, and that is in part due to the way that the spread mechanics work for shotguns in Battlefield right now. And unfortunately, all of that is going to be changing in the near future, or rather fortunately, but unfortunately for this video, it means we have to review this weapon based on the current spread mechanics that should be changing completely. Now, if you're unfamiliar with how the spread mechanics are going to change in the near future, currently spread can heavily favor one side of your targeting reticle or the other. So it could favor top, bottom, left, right, sometimes center, but basically it means if you're aiming perfectly dead on at your opponent, sometimes a lot of those shots can just barely wing them on the left or right side, or if you're aiming slightly to the left or slightly to the right, but they're still well within your shotgun spread circle, your pellets can miss almost completely if the spread tends to favor one side or the other. That is going to be fixed in the next big patch, which should make all shotguns far more consistent. The spray pattern won't be exactly the same every time, but it's going to guarantee that a significant portion of the pellets are in the center of the circle every single time you fire. This will affect all shotguns in the game, so not only will the 1900 become more consistent, but so will every other shotgun out there. Now, the 1900 is a weapon that I feel is going to be far more effective in maybe a small numbers game, especially with the maybe new competitive incursions mode out there where you're used to engaging 1 or 2 players at a time. That's where the 1900 is going to be really effective. The reload time for this weapon and the fact that it only has 2 shots to begin with makes it really hard to engage larger quantities of opponents. You really have to duck behind cover, switch to a sidearm to finish off a second or third guy, and that's where it starts to get difficult. If you compare it to, say, the Model 10A Hunter, I've gone on far longer, far more effective kill streaks with that weapon in large scale games because I have the ammunition to back me up. I can take out a whole squad before I need to reload that shotgun, and that's where the 1900 really fails. But if I'm going up against one target in close quarters, inarguably the 1900 is better. I can fire 2 very high damaging shots back to back. No other shotgun in the game can do that. I will say I'm a little disappointed by the spread mechanics on the double barrel. I think it's a little bit wide, and that does reduce its effectiveness at range. I mean, this is your primary weapon. You've only got 2 shots, and if it can't even punch its shots out far enough compared to, like, say, the Model 10A Hunter, then you're really limited with what this shotgun could do. I think either tightening the cone of fire on this weapon or increasing the amount of pellets might help balance it a little bit more. Not a drastic increase, just a small increase, maybe 10 to 15% more pellets than a Model 10 or something like that, and the Model 1900 might become the preferred choice over the Model 10. As it stands right now, I'm probably still going to prefer the Model 10A Hunter for large scale games. If I know I'm only going up against 1 or 2 guys, then maybe the 1900, but still the tighter spread on the Model 10A Hunter is incredibly advantageous for engaging people at slightly further ranges. Now, of course, that is just my personal preference. If you're an incredibly accurate shot and you're good at flick shotting, so going from one target to the next, this could be your dream shotgun. Again, you have to close the distance pretty significantly on your opponent, which is, again, a drawback on this weapon, but I can see why some people might really enjoy this gun. It's going to require a very, very high-skilled player, though, to take full advantage of its mechanics. This isn't going to be just the ultimate shotgun that anybody can pick up and dominate the competition with. You gotta be skilled, you gotta be quick, and you have to be fairly reliant on your sidearm for a lot of situations where you're engaging 2 or more opponents. And speaking of which, the brand new Obrez pistol that does 100 damage in extreme close quarters is a pretty fun complement to this weapon. The Obrez can be used at further ranges if you need to, which obviously shotguns can't be, and if you blow your 2 shots on one guy in close quarters and there's a secondary follow-up, you can switch to the Obrez to get a very quick kill. Again, both weapons are very high punishing, but they sort of complement each other in the playstyle, where if you're used to making every single shot count, then both shotgun and pistol have the exact same mechanics. And so I was really enjoying the combination of the Model 1900 and the Obrez sidearm. Now, I haven't unlocked or tried out the slug variant of this weapon yet. I can see the stats on simthic.com though. It looks very much in line with what the Model 10A slug shotgun does damage-wise, except it can fire 2 slugs back to back. So again, that could be a very fun and damaging option for shotguns out there. Maybe even the preferred shotgun for playing in Battlefield 1's new competitive game mode. We'll really have to see, but it could be an absolute beast for taking out 1 or 2 players. Again, it's just the situation of if you're playing on a giant 64-player map of Conquest or Operations, you might feel like this weapon is just a little bit too limited in ammo capacity for you, or if you're not a perfect shot every single time, or if the spread mechanics on shotguns are just aggravating you too much, and you don't like having to make every single shot absolutely count, then you might not prefer the Model 1900 shotgun. It's not going to be for everybody, and it's certainly not going to dominate the battlefield any more than some of the other shotguns out there. I hope this video review helps you guys figure out if you want to unlock the 1900 or how to best use it once you do finally unlock it. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.